Hola a todos. Welcome back to Seville. Bienvenidos at Sevilla. It's day 19, and it's Friday night, and this place is a rockin'. Trying to find a quiet place for me to take a video has been very, very difficult. I just about got assaulted by an orange. It was super windy today, and it got a little colder, which is why I mention it, is because the orange just fell very close to me there. They've been falling out of the trees because of the wind. So there's a bit of a issue with oranges on the floor. There's the one that, and I stepped on two before. And I think that was another one. Anyway, it's been a day. And unfortunately, I'm feeling a little guilty because I don't really have anything prepared for you today. Not that I prepared too well on a good day, which maybe I should. But today I was going to take a tour. I was really looking forward to it. Those are fun tours. It was a paranormal tour. I was going to learn about Seville's ghosts and, superstitions and stuff. And I started my work day early. I had my whole day figured out because I had to be at this spot, for 8 p.m. And I don't know, just everything started to happen towards 6, 7. And I missed it. Just missed it. I don't even understand how it happened. But in my head, at some point I got it, at some point I got it in my head that it was 9 o'clock instead of 8, and that was it. Yeah, so I suddenly got a message saying that asking me whether I was coming, and it was like, oh no, I'm so sorry. I missed it. But I did manage to get out during the day, kind of a maintenance day. Did some laundry, ran a couple of little errands here and there, and got some more coffee. The good stuff that I found from trying that place out by the mushroom, Las Setas. And yeah, it worked out. And what I was thinking about as I'm wandering around, and I started to record just little mini videos of things that are like shops, right? And the differences there. Because one of the things I'm quite fascinated about is how different everything is over here, right? It's the same, but it's different. And you can really see that in the shops and what's available, right? Sometimes it's the same stuff, but it's a different brand, or there's just different emphasis on certain things. Like, for example, here, ham is prominent, or jamón, right? So that's front of the store, right in the window kind of thing. Whereas at home, yeah, it's ham, whatever. Maybe it's corn that's the big important thing or something, who knows. But if you're a shop, like a grocery store, you want to make sure that people know you have good jamón. And, for example. And so, yeah, I figured I would start recording just different things that were different. Some of the shops and all that, and I found some interesting things, in particular during the daytime, because they're not always open at night when I'm wandering around now, but there's different stuff that is out. But and I should also make mention too of the not the tourist stuff. The tourist stuff are always different everywhere you go. And yet, it's also kind of the same, right? One of the things that's kind of disappointing when you go to these places, these souvenir shops, is you see a shirt that's kind of got a clever thing going on, and it's got Seville on it, right? And then you'll go to another town, and it's exactly the same. It just has Paris or Rome or, Chicago on it. It's quite interesting. I've fallen for that a couple of times. But similar to the shops, right? There's the streets themselves, right? The alleyways, especially in these old cities, and I love that. It just really, I don't know, it's so much more entertaining walking around a city like this than it would be, say, at home. I really do love this. It's probably considered kind of a boring, plain place normally, but compared to home, there's a lot of character here. Just super cool, super interesting. Just walking down some alley. Yeah, I just really, really dig it. I'm really enjoying myself. But it's funny too, because as you come to a new place or as you move from one place to the next, you're constantly confronted with changes and this idea of like orienting yourself, right? Like this alleyway that I'm walking down right now, it runs east-west. But when I arrived in the city, I had no idea where anything was. None of these alleyways are straight. But it was where I had to orient myself. I got off a bus and I was to come down this place and then do some turns. Just from my perspective, it really seemed like it was taking me from the top of the city to the bottom of the city. So my brain put it in my head that it was north-south, right? And so all this while, I thought that road or that alleyway that I was just at took me to the top of the city. And it kind of does, but it kind of doesn't either. It meanders quite a bit before it gets to another street, and then you take that one to get to the top of the Triana Bridge. And it's east-west. What's interesting, I'm on day 19, and I'm recognizing things more. And I had like a moment of, oh, that's the first place I went to when I got into town. And I was like, oh. And I had this flash of my memory of first walking into Seville and the smells and the like what things were. Like without context, I don't know what that is, right? But that's the church. That's the, town square. That's the place that's across from that other place, kind of thing. And you start to, your brain starts to put those things together. But after a while, you lose that initial thought of, where am I? What is that? What are these things? And I was trying to figure out what it was, and I think it's kind of like when you go away from home, and then you come back and you can smell the place. If that makes sense. You can't ever smell your own place unless you've gone for a long while. And then you walk in, you smell it, and you go, yeah, that's what home smells like, right? How weird. But you can't get that back, right? You can't have that, that moment of awe, of absolute surprise, that smelling of your own house kind of thing. You can only get whiffs of it. And that's what I was getting today. It was like, oh, I remember getting off that bus for the first time, and what a cool experience that was, right? So it's a really cool feeling. I know I've rambled, I don't know whether I've explained myself, but it's a really cool feeling to realize just how far you've come in discovering a place and understanding what it is. Like I don't know, I'm not gonna pretend I'm a local or anything like that. I'm a long way away from figuring out like what it feels like to live in the city forever, but like knowing how to orient myself and where everything is, and the smells, the sights, the sounds, that's why I come here for the length of time that I do, because you can really, you can only get that acquaintance of the city by being here this long. So I'm feeling maybe not at home, but maybe like we're friends now, if that makes sense. Maybe that's a little corny, I don't know. But I'm feeling like it's okay for me to be here. Like not exactly belonging, but you know, yeah, it's okay that I'm here. You know, it's not so strange that I'm here. It's kind of cool. And I love that. And, you know, in a little while, I'm going to be leaving, and I'm going to have to do the whole thing over again in some other town. And part of me is like, got to do that over again. But it's just a small part. The rest of me is like really looking forward to it, like figuring this out, you know, and discovering more things and going to see more things, and, you know, figuring out what weird stores and weird things are in those weird stores in another place. So, can't wait. With that, I'm off tomorrow. I'm on the train to another town, which I'll tell you guys all about tomorrow. So I hope I'm going to go get a good night's rest. I hope everyone's doing well out there. I'm doing well. Please start to think about your own adventures, where you'd like to go. Let me know about them. Maybe put a comment on this video. I'd love to hear from you. I really would. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Hasta mañana. Good night.